This company is a complete scam.
Fake. Scam.
Is it a scam? Yes.
All the crypto scams.
Demanding justice for all the people that were scammed.
I do not feel comfortable being within miles of whatever the fuck this situation is.
Crypto play turned out to be a big scam.
It's possibly one of the largest scam operations in YouTube history.
And now he faces serious prison time for his scam.
Faked.
Lie.
My God, there are a lot of people that would lick that man's balls clean.
Grifters.
The largest L in cryptocurrency history, perhaps.
All just a massive scam.
Dishonest marketing tactics
Are full of
I wasn't really planning to film this video, if I'm honest. Take a look, lava lamp's not even fully melted yet. That's a running theme you'll find on the channel. I mean, the idea has been floating around my head for quite some time, but I was always second guessing myself. At the time of filming, my subscriber count is not really much bigger than the size of a grade 1 class. So what right do I have to have an opinion on a topic that I have zero experience in?
I don't know shit. I don't get stuff.
You could say I've yet to suckle at the supposedly underwhelming teat of AdSense.
What the hell did you just say?
Let alone wade into the minefield of paid sponsorships. But when this whole established title scandal came to light a couple of days ago, uncovered by Scott Schaefer, I realized that something really bad was going on with the creator economy on YouTube, and the future of the platform may very well be at stake. I'm not the only one. A number of creators have released videos on this topic over the past little while, and depending on the state of your algorithm, you just can't log into YouTube lately without being bombarded by just a mess of videos from commentary channels and news channels addressing whatever the latest scam or grift happens to be. Don't get me wrong, channels like Scammer Payback, CoffeeZilla, Scam Beta, SunnyV2, so on and so forth are out there doing the Lord's work. After all, as long as there are human beings, they're gonna be scams, right? But it really feels like the proportion and severity of these scams is just growing exponentially with each passing day.
It's over 9,000! What?
And they all have a common thread. They all involve advertising. For better or worse, the internet runs on adverts, and that's not really gonna change anytime soon, right? Look, there are alternatives, sure, and we can debate whether we should be trying to make these alternatives a larger part of how the creator economy works.
I'm the captain now.
But the fact is, advertising is just built into the very fabric of how a lot of platforms operate. And for the creator, this is a good thing. It builds the promise of some sort of reward which wasn't there in the very beginning.
I want to feel like it's raining on me, okay?
And it also incentivizes greater quality content, which is good for the consumer. Well, in theory at least. We all know of channels with millions of subs that just take in pots and pots of money from AdSense alone, while there are other comparably large channels that claim to earn pennies, right? An example, Louis Rossmann. So he's an advocate for the right to repair movement, and he has nearly 2 million subs, but claims to earn well below his calculated social blade rate. I don't really think this bothers him.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care.
He's actually a really cool dude, and I suggest you go check out his channel when you have some time. But this roulette wheel of advertising rates, along with YouTube's notoriously abused copyright system, means that for average medium-sized creators, the only real option is to just diversify your revenue stream.
I'm going to diversify my portfolio with meme coins.
And in principle, this is a good thing. It helps to shield creators from another adpocalypse type event, and also helps to prevent sort of financial censorship from the platform. But it also comes with additional responsibilities. The first logical move from this whole AdSense alone model would be to court external sponsors, right? This can potentially allow for significant income improvements depending on what your audience is, what your watch statistics are, what your location is. And the nice part is that this doesn't come with a lot of additional effort and infrastructure that's required by a patron type model. And look, I'm not claiming that somehow dealing with external sponsors is all sunshine and roses, right? Like I said, my personal experience is non-existent.
And I don't understand things.
But all it takes is a quick search on YouTube to yield a smorgasbord of creators just bemoaning the frustrations of dealing with external sponsors. For some, it ends up being really worth it, right? In fact, some review channels operate exclusively through sponsorships in the form of the gear that they're provided to be reviewed, sometimes with or without an accompanying paycheck. And I mean, as someone who's dabbled in review content, funding this stuff gets expensive, right?
Insufficient funds.
And on top of that, it's nearly impossible to stay ahead of the game unless you're being provided the equipment to review as it comes out by the distributors or the manufacturers themselves. Otherwise, others just beat you to it, and your content just gets lost to the void of secondary responders. The linchpin in this whole successful sponsorship equation/relationship is trust. Just let me give you an example, right? So back in the day, I used to really love watching Guitar Gear channels. I got to live vicariously through these dudes as they played the latest amplifiers and the latest pedals. Then I was lusting after this gear, and best part of all, I got to watch them really shred on it with far greater skill than I could hope to have. But as time went on, the community was struck with a controversy as certain creators were supposedly just not disclosing the vested interests behind their videos and allowing these interests to influence their opinions. To this day, even when creators do disclose any sponsorships, the comment section immediately just lights up with suggestions that, you can't trust this guy, they're being paid to say the right thing and have the right opinions. And let's be real, the comments were absolutely like that before all of this controversy. But the fact is, the creators violated their community's trust, and that amplified the problem. Once the trust is lost, it can never be regained. Let's fast forward to today, where it seems like every second creator, irrespective of their niche, is either punting a new cryptocurrency or NFT project. And then every second day, these same projects and cryptocurrencies are just dropping like flies, with millions, sometimes billions of dollars evaporating in a heartbeat. And a not so insignificant portion of the money that's being lost belong to these creators' audiences. Look, some of these creators are just scammers, right, who built up and went out of their way to mislead their communities. Others, on the other hand, just didn't do their due diligence or just didn't care. But the fact is that all of them are a problem for the platform as a whole. And I just want to be totally clear right now that it's not just crypto that is behind this and pulling all the strings, but there are some well-established businesses with seemingly legitimate products and copy that are just pulling the wool over both creators and consumers' eyes. A large portion of these issues could be avoided if creators just took greater care in assessing the legitimacy of their sponsors. I'd say they have a responsibility to. Otherwise, all it really says is that they have contempt for their audience.
I loathe you! That's it!
Look, it's a lot of hard work, and it's just getting harder and harder as these different businesses and organizations just get more and more savvy with how they're able to disguise and shield what their actual MO is. And on top of that, mistakes will inevitably happen. They'll always happen.
Oopsie.
But it's still absolutely necessary if you hope to preserve your credibility as a creator. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to sacrifice short-term gains in the service of long-term goals. It seems like this is happening at such a scale of late that the legitimacy of creators in general is being brought into question.
That's a huge bitch.
And that further erodes YouTube's already rapidly declining credibility and legitimacy. And to be fair, that's YouTube's fault. But with no trust, there's no advertising. And with no advertising, there is no platform, at least under the current model, right? Some creators, like How Money Works, speculate that the current creator economy is just a big bubble that's going to burst really soon. Especially when we take into account all of the other economic stuff that's going on under the hood, like the current bout of inflation that we're experiencing.
I'm sick of reading stupid shit like that.
And I'm not an expert, so I'm not really going to comment on those specific elements, but let's be real, these scams can't be helping matters in the slightest. Just on an aside, he does a really awesome job of just walking you through every aspect of this issue, and I'd really suggest that you go and watch his video. I'll put a link down in the description below. Some people might say that it's awesome. It's a great thing that these creators are falling left, right, and center, and their scams are being exposed, and that companies are being shamed, because lessons are being learned on the part of the creator as well as the consumers and businesses.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Hell, in the most extreme case, maybe the whole platform should just sink because it's just built on a flawed model. But I'm not really convinced that the system as it stands is just beyond the point of repair, at least not yet. But this does come with the caveat that there is some collective responsibility that's required here. If the creativity that's been flowing from YouTube over the past couple of years can continue to flourish. And I think that that's a really great thing. I think it's awesome that that amount of creativity has been able to grow consistently over the past couple of years. So in the end, look, I'm not going to preach to any creator about how they should or should not conduct their business, but it's important to keep in mind that times are tough in the post-COVID world, and everyone's struggling just to get by, right? Larger YouTubers, whether they knowingly or unknowingly peddle scams, are in super fortunate positions because they're able to... Larger YouTubers, either knowingly or unknowingly peddling these scams, are in very fortunate positions because they're making a living off of doing something that they love. And that adds further insult to injury when they gain at the expense of their already struggling audience. Just like everything in life, all actions have consequences, and just with a little bit more diligence, we might be able to preserve this platform for more viewers and more creators, hopefully well into the future. And who knows, maybe even reform the platform into something that works better for everyone.
Moral is, don't be a dick!